Hello and welcome to the Expert CRE Secrets podcast, also streaming on Capital Gains Tax Solutions podcast, where we believe most high net worth individuals and those who help them, they struggle with clarifying their capital gains tax deferral options and working with some of the best commercial real estate, M&A advisors, and luxury realtors is a great way also to grow your business and grow your wealth. Hey, I'm your host, Brett Swarts. In each episode, I'm joined by some of the best real estate, financial, M&A advisors and business professionals in the world where they share their ideas, deal stories, and inspiration. So together we can make complex business models simple and helping you to grow and exit very well in your business. Hey, I'm excited about my business partner and guest and an announcement to make in regards to Michelle Seiler Tucker joining eXp as an M&A advisor. And we're going to get to know her a little bit more in today's episode. But just for those who don't know her, she's one of the top closers in M&A business across the nation with over 20 years of experience and just countless amount of businesses bought and sold. She's also a two-time #1 best-selling author, speaker, and TV and radio host, and venture capitalist and business owner. And also the recent book, New York Times bestselling author of Exit Rich, which we'll talk about here in a minute as well. Please welcome to the show with me, Michelle Seiler Tucker. Michelle, how you doing?
Hi, Brad. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing so well. I'm excited to have you connected here and for our listeners getting to know you for the first time. Would you give us a little bit more about your story and your
Sure.
current focus?
One thing I would like to correct, though, is Exit Rich is not a New York Times bestseller yet, but it is a Wall Street Journal bestseller and a U.S. Today bestseller, and of course, Amazon. I think it beat pretty much every record on Amazon. And I say it's not a New York Times bestseller yet, but stay tuned. So I just wanted to make that quick correction. So I am Michelle Seiler Tucker. I'm a mergers and acquisitions master intermediary, a senior business analyst, a certified mergers and acquisitions professional, and a bunch of other acronyms behind my name. I've been in this industry a little over 20 years. And there's a lot of things that we do different. But before I get into what we do, I'll tell you a little bit about my history. So even as a little girl, everybody always asked me, Michelle, how did you get into selling companies? Did you wake up one day and say, oh, I'm going to sell businesses? And the answer is no, of course not. I never thought about selling businesses, but I always knew I would be an entrepreneur. And I knew that probably from the age of 7, 8, 9 years old. I wasn't your typical little girl. I didn't walk around and play with toys and dolls. I walked around with a pen and a notebook. And I would walk up to perfect strangers at grocery stores, bank, gas station, and I would ask them, what do you do? How do you do it? How did you get started? And as a kid, I was so, curious about entrepreneurship, I was fascinated about entrepreneurship and how people actually started multi-million-dollar, billion-dollar companies from their garage, from their kitchen table, from their car. And I still have that curiosity. I love, breathe, eat, sleep entrepreneurship. And I've owned many different companies in different verticals. I always told my mom I'm never going to get a job. And the reason I didn't want to get a job is my #1 pet peeve is I don't like to be told what to do. So I do have a husband I've been with for 25 years, and he still has not figured out to stop telling me what to do. And I have an 11-year-old daughter who's more complicated than any transaction I've ever done. But I ended up getting a job, so never say never. I actually got recruited by Xerox, Fortune 500 company, and I was with Xerox for about 6 months, and my nickname became the closer because every time someone couldn't close a deal, they would say, well, call Michelle Seiler Tucker. She's the closer. She can't sell it. Nobody can. And so I was a closer at Xerox within those 6 months. So I was promoted to regional vice president of 100 salespeople. And that was a pretty, big position in a Fortune 500 company. It came with great money, great benefits. The problem with the position is I didn't like it. And the reason I didn't like it is because I'm a people person. I love my clients. I love building relationships that last a lifetime. What I don't like to do is sit in meetings and just deal with paperwork. I like to solve problems. I'm solution oriented. I'm not a meeting person in corporate America. So I ended up transitioning out of Xerox, and I started a franchise development, franchise consulting, and franchise sales business. I was a partner with different franchisors, an equity partner. And I sold hundreds and hundreds of franchises, but I had so many buyers that kept asking me for existing businesses. And we didn't have existing businesses. So I kept saying, no, that's not what we do. And I really am a big Bob Proctor fan. I'm a big fan of The Secret, the movie The Secret of Law of Attraction. And one day I'm like, why am I saying no? I should be telling the universe yes, yes, yes. And that really started my M&A career a little over 20 years ago. I remember walking into my very first convention 20 years ago, and I was the only woman in there. I walked in, 3,000 men, they all turned around and looked at me, and I said, oh, honey, I think you're in the wrong room. Dermatology is down the hall. And I said, nope, I'm in the right room. You might be in the wrong room. And that was over 20 years ago. So now, we've sold a tremendous amount of businesses in every vertical you can imagine. We have a very high closing ratio, about 98%. We have over 45,000 buyers in our database. So our core competency is creating bidding wars. And on average, we can obtain a 20 to 40% higher selling price for our clients. The highest we've ever done is 165% more than what the business appraised for. So we have a lot of different skill sets that we bring to the table, more so than any other M&A firm, mostly because of my very wide range of business experience running different companies.
Amazing, Michelle. So much there. I love the entrepreneur spirit and at a young age having that curiosity to identify what you wanted to do and where you wanted to go. And then I love the fact that you became the closer, right? And the problem solver. And at the end of the day, I think we've all been given the certain gifts in this life, and these gifts have been given to us to be a blessing and help to others. And it's so cool that you're able to identify those gifts, right? And then also remove the distractions of having to sit in these corporate America business meetings, right? And go into making the highest and best impact for your clients and those who are selling. So I'm curious, what's the most rewarding part of what you do, Michelle, when it comes to serving your clients?
Yeah, and it's not just making an impact for my clients. It's also, look, we sell big business, so we make big commission. We give a lot of that money back to different charities. We're big into donating for Joyce Myers and other charities out there. So we do take a portion of commissions and give that back. We're also looking at starting a nonprofit. The biggest rewarding part of my job is really helping business owners sell their legacy and exit rich. Steve Forbes says 80% of businesses on the market will never sell. 80%. Those are really startling statistics and should be a huge wake-up call for business owners, because that means you have less than a 20% chance of success. And business owners, think about this. Baby boomers have poured their heart, their soul, their money, their life into building a corporation over the last several decades. They've made huge sacrifices. I've talked to many entrepreneurs where they're like, I never went to my kid's soccer game. I never went to their football game. I never went to my daughter's play. Many of them haven't even taken a vacation. One of the clients we're working with right now hasn't taken a vacation 19 years. So it's satisfying to me to be able to help that entrepreneur really, really get what they want out of the sale of their business. And we really help them identify their seller sanity check, what's the most important thing. But to help business owners exit rich and have a better quality of life and enjoy the fruits of their labor is really what drives me. Also, buyers, helping first-time buyers afford a better quality of life, afford, financial freedom, to be their own boss. This is not just about selling business. It's not just about dollars and cents. It's about making a huge impact, a huge change in people's lives.
Absolutely love that. By the way, you can learn more about Michelle Seiler Tucker at seilertucker.com. That's seilertucker.com. And she mentioned the book Exit Rich, which is an amazing book.
Right behind me.
It's so deep, Michelle, that I got about halfway through, and I'm like, I gotta dig in even more. I also have 5 kids, 2 podcasts, a couple of businesses, and myself, and so things are going pretty fast. But I highly recommend people check that out and get a copy of that Exit Rich. So you touched on the rewarding part about it, and you touched on some of the staggering stats of 80% of sellers, right, or businesses will never sell, and they just kind of go out of business. and the ability to provide this freedom and this opportunity for them to exit well. I want to transition into eXp, and after all your success and 20 years in the business, top in the industry, doing what you're doing, and your brand is also amazing brand. Walk us through kind of your journey to eXp and maybe some of the just kind of the story there for those who are getting to know you for the first time.
Sure. And the other thing I wanted to also make sure the listeners know is we don't just sell businesses. We specialize in buying, selling, fixing, and growing companies. I've partnered with business owners, investing my time, energy, effort, core competencies, and money to help put them on the road to sell and help them build an actual sellable business that we can exit for millions down the road. We've bought businesses and flipped them as well. So we, again, specialize in buying, selling, fixing, growing. My journey to eXp, Brett bought eXp to my attention. Now, I've heard about eXp numerous times through different individuals, but Brett bought eXp to my attention. I'm like, why would I do that? Siler Tucker is well branded. We do business all over the United States. We also do business in other countries. Why would I do that? But then when I really started listening and not assuming that I know everything, and I started really opening up, like I said, my ears and listening, they have some great benefits that really cannot be duplicated. One of the biggest benefits is being able to have a sponsored broker anywhere in the world. We're selling an agricultural company right now in a licensed state, and we're having to pay a sponsoring broker over $300,000 just for their license. So really being able to have that network of sponsoring brokers all over the country, all over the world, was the number one motivating factor for us. But then also being able to have that network where we could also send referrals to other real estate agents, because there's a lot of times that we get, requests to sell someone's home, to sell their buildings that maybe are not attached to a business. And that's not what we do. That's not our core competency. Our core competency are selling businesses. We'll sell the real estate if it's attached. So we have a lot of referrals to give as well. And really having that trusted network where we can refer business back and forth was huge for us. So having the sponsoring brokers, having the real estate agents that we can refer business back and forth. And then they've got so many other great benefits like insurance and 401 stock, having stock and making money on your organization that you build. So the benefits are limitless. You can, to me, there was no reason not to join eXp.
Yeah, and it's similar story. Not as big of a brand or doing as many deals when 5 years ago when I was approached, right? And I dismissed it, and I just didn't really look into it. I was so busy, right? I was so busy, and there's so many high producing agents are very busy. And I was focused on the Deferred Sales Trust, which I still am, and it's focused on multifamily brokerage more at the time. And I was so busy that I just didn't take the time to sit down and do like business plan. This is a great time to do business planning and look at everything, where your business is going and how it can align. But you're right. If you can keep that curiosity, right, and that open-mindedness and be humble enough to say, well, maybe there could be something here. And that's exactly what you did, Michelle. You asked tough questions, and we went through due diligence for time. In fact, you flew into Dallas, Texas, right, where we had a chance to be at an eXp event, as well as see Tony Robbins, which was amazing, and spend some time getting to know some of the leadership, some of the folks, and getting a sense for the culture and the community. And I love the way you put that, the networking, right, the ability to connect with over 70,000 agents now worldwide, many of whom are on the ground helping clients sell real estate. And their core competency is not selling businesses or big mergers and acquisitions. And they're looking for ways to refer business, right? And vice versa, where you can also tap into a network and you can refer business, and it becomes one family, one dream in one sense because of the stock, right? Because you actually get on to stock ownership without having to have a huge, franchise fees or take on a bunch of liability. You're able to consolidate a lot of the risk, but also increase the potential to grow your business without having to feel like you're alone. And so those are all reasons plus so many more. But the best way to put it, what was the biggest objection or the biggest thing that was maybe holding you back? Because like you said, the more I looked at it, the more I was like, why wouldn't I join? There's nothing here. But what was your biggest one that you had to overcome, Michelle?
Well, I think it was a few things, kind of like what you said. You're so busy, you didn't really have time to look at it. And if all of us travel, right? And what do we put on our room when we don't want to be disturbed? We put on a do not disturb sign. And I think many of us wear a do not disturb sign around our body because we're so, tunnel vision and we're doing what we're doing and we don't look at other opportunities. And this was a great opportunity that I did not want to pass up. But, the biggest thing again is having those sponsoring brokers being part of a much bigger community, something much bigger than myself, and being able to serve others and really being able to serve my clients in a way that I can't do because I personally don't have 70,000 agents.
Yeah, and we don't want to take that for granted, right? Being a part of something bigger than ourselves, and I think you're catching. I've definitely caught it that eXp is more than just a company, right? It's a movement of professionals that are entrepreneurial in the real estate, M&A business brokerage, commercial real estate world that are looking to do things that are innovative, that are future technology focused, that are not going to put the traditional corporate handcuffs around folks like yourself. Because I had my own brand too, my own business, and at the time 5 years ago, I'm going, why would I put that to somewhere else, right? But now I choose to align with them, and you don't have to give up your branding, right? That's the beautiful thing.
Well, that was a big reason that kept me from doing it. And I actually forgot the question I was supposed to be answering. But one of the biggest things that kept me from joining eXp is I thought I had to change my branding. And I wasn't going to do it if I had to do that. But we don't have to do that. We can be Siler Tucker Incorporated, powered by eXp. So we're powered by a much bigger network, and which is hugely beneficial.
It is, because it helps to also be able to spread the listings, to market the listings across instantaneously. This thing called Workplace by Facebook, that are exclusive to all eXp brokers and agents. And literally within a second, 70,000 folks can get eyes on your new listings, new opportunities, referrals, and the amount of referrals that go back and forth, and the amount of engagement. And then I think the stat is as well that 80% of all eXp agents are producing agents, whereas the opposite, if they look at a lot of, and these are like in real estate world, opposite is typically only 20% are actually producing agents. And so they found a way to tap into bring in some of the best of the best, and to share and collaborate, make everybody owners, as well as, like you said, talk about rev share, which is cool. A chance to incentivize you to coach and train and bring up some of the best, to share your secrets in a lot of way as you're building loyalty, right? All without having to have a huge amount of overhead or a huge amount of risk or take on a bunch of debt. And so again, it helps us to make a bigger impact for more people. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, I agree with you 1,000%. And I'm just wish I would have done it sooner. And it's just, it's just going to keep getting bigger. And what I like about it is they do ask us for ideas. They do want to implement from the best of the best. They are adding technology. They're doing things to make all of our lives easier, so that we can live, our whole lives are not based around our work, right? Because you shouldn't live to work. You should work to live, right? How's it go?
Yeah, exactly how it goes.
Yeah. But, I just think it's amazing. And I just got back from the conference in Vegas, and I was really blown away by all the people that were there, the education that was available, the different breakout rooms, the training, the networking opportunities. I mean, it's like none other, it's a best networking company on earth.
Yeah. And I also want to highlight that as well. I mean, I've grown up, played college basketball, and I was part of Marcus and Millichap, which is a very, very, one of the best in commercial real estate brokerage. And I've been, through a lot of different leadership or different things. And I was skeptical. It's like, the eXp can't be this good. It can't be that amazing. There can't be that, it can't have all the things that everyone's saying it is. But I was like, I'm open. And I said, look, I'm not going to recruit. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to go sell Deferred Sales Trust and sell some multifamily brokerage. And I'll just see what they're saying is true. And then 30, 60, 90 days into it, Michelle, I'm like, oh my gosh, like not only is it true, but it's even better than I thought with the culture, with the collaboration,
Yeah.
with the technology, with the networking, with the opportunities to grow as a leader, and their commitment to, they bought, Success Magazine, right? Which goes back 125 years. And these are, they're featuring Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and a lot of contributors over this magazine for many, many, many years. And they bought the company as a way to invest in the leadership and the culture of the company, and rolling out coaching. And so it's so much more than just a real estate brokerage, right? Or a tech company. And
it really is. And you know what was amazing to me, Brett, is when I went to Dallas, when I went to Vegas, I asked everybody I came in contact with, how do you like eXp? How do you like eXp? And normally when you ask, employees or agents of a company, you always are going to get the good and the bad, right? You're going to get some people saying good things. A lot of times you get a lot of people saying bad things. I never found one person to say anything negative whatsoever. I haven't had anyone say anything negative. Everybody's like, oh, it's the best decision I've ever made. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's great. I wish I would have done it sooner. And that's what's so incredible to me, and probably what sold me more than anything is listening to everybody else. When I did in Dallas, everybody saying it was the best decision they've ever made. I've never have, look, I sell companies for a living. I always ask employees, how do you like the owner? How do you like the company? How do you like this? How do you like that? And I always get negative feedback. I haven't gotten any negative feedback from eXp, and that's remarkable to me.
It is remarkable. So for those who are curious and want to take action and maybe consider joining, if you're resonating with what Michelle and I are saying, joining our eXp family, right? And I'm focused on all things capital gains tax deferral and multifamily brokers in Sacramento. And Michelle is nationwide, even moving worldwide, for M&A and sales of large companies. Okay. And so together we, and maybe we can touch on this too, Michelle. Now that we're connected with eXp, we can also, I'm sending you referrals, right? You're sending me referrals already, right? It's already happening. Part of that is I can help, defer capital gains tax. And part of that is you're an expert in all things M&A, but it's that ability to tap into the best of the best where we're all still connected. And that's also not to be understated as well. It's not just real estate agents. It's each of us bringing our expertise. It's kind of like an incubator, right? If we were in Silicon Valley and we're all bringing our tech ideas to this, let's say this hub, and each of us together are bringing our best of our best, then we send the referrals when need be, or we deal the deals ourselves when need be. But the ability for eXp to set up the infrastructure, to have the culture, to have the training, to build that, and then allow us as leaders to come in and add to that, because we're part owners of the company as we do stock, as we buy, as we own stock. So any thoughts on that, Michelle?
Well, absolutely. Look, the biggest thing too is if I would have joined eXp before, I would have saved myself $280,000. So eXp is extremely affordable for pretty much anyone that's in this industry, and selling businesses, selling real estate. It's extremely affordable. And again, the healthcare and all the other opportunities that they add is amazing. And what I have found too is, let's say you're in real estate and there's 70,000 real estate agents, but guess what? They all do things, one might have technology, one might have this, one might have that. They all have different ways of doing things. We've got a couple of real estate agents that we want to bring in that have found a way to really sell real estate quick. They've been in the industry for years and years and years. So you can always learn from other real estate agents. That's what I love so much about the networking, opportunity. Just like when you and I went to that networking in Vegas, Brett, I came out of that and said, look at this idea. Look at this idea. I like how she's doing this in Hawaii, And so you can learn from your fellow real estate agents as well. It's not competitive.
Yeah. And also you don't feel so alone, right? As entrepreneurs, hard driving, we're building our brands and building our platforms. Sometimes you can feel like you're on an island, right? And this gives you a chance to have the best of both worlds. You can still be on your island and run your business and do your thing, but also tap into, at any point, the support, the leadership, the culture, the collaboration, the secrets, the best practices, right? And so it's eXp, and part of what Glenn Sanford was so brilliant about, he was a real estate agent, right? And he was selling and selling and selling. Then the market fell apart, and he's going, I'm getting frustrated with some of the technology stuff, some other things. He goes, if I were to start a company, what would I do to make it as attractive and make it agent focused? He goes, because if I can focus on taking care of the agent, they'll take care of the client. So how to
Right.
make the best company for the agent to work on. And that's what happened for 11 years. And it's been a success. Obviously, penny stock to over $150, as a stock. And then it split. And I think it's somewhere around like 40 or 50 right now. Amazing success, fastest real estate company in the history of brokerage ever. And now commercials opened up. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And now business brokerage and M&A. And that's just the beginning. And we're just going to take what's already worked, learn from the challenges, the things of the growing pains of a startup,
Mm-hmm.
and now just apply it for the exponential growth there. So I'm so excited for that. That being said, we're going to be doing these about once every 2 weeks or so. The next one we're going to be talking about is kind of diving a little bit more into the opportunity and then breaking it down for those who are in the luxury real estate space, the commercial real estate brokerage space, as well as business brokers and M&A advisors, and giving everyone an opportunity to consider joining Michelle and I and to tap into our expertise and our ability to help you grow your business. And if you want to learn right now and take action and consider that, you can email marketing@silertucker.com. That's marketing@silertucker.com. You can also connect with me. You can go to expertcresecrets.com, expertcresecrets.com, and book a time. That being said, Michelle, we are out of time. Any last thoughts for anyone who's listening?
No, I mean, I think we've said a lot. I would definitely encourage everyone to push the pause button, and take the "don't interrupt me" sign off your chest and take a minute to really explore this golden opportunity. Because again, my biggest mistake is I should have done it sooner. So I would definitely encourage everyone to do that. I also encourage everyone to go get a copy of Exit Rich. They can go to exitrichbook.com, or they can go and get Exit Rich off of Amazon or their favorite bookstore.
Awesome. Thanks, Michelle. Hey, thanks everyone for listening. Please rate, review, subscribe. Please share this with someone who can inspire or help today. We so appreciate everyone out there, and we'll talk to you again.